Welcome to the channel. I appreciate you watching. Hit that like and subscribe button. Let's get to today's video. The Auto5 was designed by John Browning in 1898. He patented it in the 1900s. It had 100 years of production. It was made in the 12 gauge, 16 gauge, and 20 gauge. It saw 5 wars. So first off, when he designed it, he called up Mr. Winchester and said, I got a design. He sold many guns to Winchester before, but Mr. Winchester and him had a different idea. John wanted a percentage or his cut off of every gun versus just give me my money up front. They did not come together, so Browning went to Remington to sell his gun. During that time, the owner of Remington died of a heart attack and it never came through. So Mr. Browning went to FN, which this gun is a FN, and we'll talk about that in a little bit. But he went to FN overseas in Belgium, and that's where the gun started. So it started in the early 1900s. I didn't write down when it was actually started, but it stopped in 1998 and it came back in 2014, but a completely redesigned different type A5. It looks the same but does not totally act the same. This is called a long recoil because when you shoot, when you fire the gun, the shell and the barrel and the bolt comes back all at the same time. It comes back, spits the shell out to cycle another one. It's called a long recoil. It has 2 springs, a big spring here and then another spring here. So that is the Browning Auto5. So to start off with, we have the Winchester 1911. You're going to say, well, that's not a humpback, and you're going to be correct, but it has a lot of the features of the Browning gun. So like I said earlier, Mr. Browning and Winchester did not come together on agreement. So Winchester wanted to produce their first semi-automatic shotgun. Well, the 1911 came out in 1911. It ran from production to 1925. In 1889, Winchester could not get the patent to the bolt handle. Mr. Browning owned the patent on the charging handle or bolt handle, whatever you want to call it. So this gun does not have one. So it became the name the Widowmaker, and we'll talk about it. Most people call it the Widowmaker, but it is the 1911 shotgun. So they could not charge it, so they came up with a different design on charging the gun. It is a long recoil action, just like the Remington, just like the Browning. So this one, you have to push in this button first. You push in the button and then you grab it. Right here, there's some extra material, some grit, and you go down and let go. That would cycle the gun. The button's still on this side because we pushed it this way. When I push it backwards, that's when it would load that next shell. So if you wasn't strong, you would not be able to do that. And you will notice when I let go, it's not going to suck up a shell or stay with the bolt open because I didn't push in the button. Now it's open. So the reason it's called a Widowmaker was people would lean over to cycle the shell. Well, if you let go and maybe didn't have the safety on, well, maybe your wife got rich or whoever, hence the name the Widowmaker. There is another feature. If you had 3 shells in here and you went bang bang on the second one and you push this button in for your third shell and pull the trigger, it would automatically, on that last shell, it would be ready for you. But you would have to count your shells. Another bad flaw is, we're shooting a bunch of birds, doves, quails, whatever. This barrel gets really hot. So every time you go to grab it, now you're burning your hand on the end of the barrel to cock the thing. So this gun did not last long in production, and I'm going to come closer and we're going to look at it in more areas about the features. Has the back piece here that kind of looks just like the Auto5s, but Winchester model 1911. So you have a really cool feature here, but we're going to talk about that in a minute. It is a full choke. Here is the grit that you would hold. The front bead really isn't a bead, it's more of a piece of metal. The barrel is made out of nickel steel. It has all kind of manufacturing dates, patents, all kind of information here about it. But this cool feature here has a circle, in which it has locks in here for this. When you push this down, you spin it, spin it, spin it, spin it, and now it's unlocked. This is the coolest cleaning feature of any gun that I would ever say probably existed. That's it. No fanciness. It come apart that easy. It has a groove here, grooves that these sit in. I mean, this is almost like a over and under, so easy to clean. It's really dirty. I have not shot this gun. So here's your bolt. There's the other spring. It just goes back, it just slides back in there. Push that down, turn the screw. When you let off, that mechanism keeps that from backing out and spinning on its own. This is the Browning Auto5 Belgium. It weighs 7 pounds, 12 ounces. The next one is the Winchester 1911. It weighs 8 pounds, 2 ounces.